I'm Deborah Trapin. I am the founder and visionary of this brand new sacred space, a new table, a new way of doing business in the old ways. And I am very excited to share time with all of you today. The heart of this comes from so many women saying to me that they crave a safe, supportive environment where they can discuss things like money and marketing and menopause and mindset. And so many of the women in my circle who are ready to invest in self-awareness practices, self-actualization, self-mastery, and they want to build a fulfilling business as well. They don't want to leave one tended without the other. So let me start with the origin story. Okay, so this goes back a decade, if you can believe that, a decade. So it's never too late, my friends. Oh, ooh, emotions are allowed at this new table. So tears may flow today, and I'm very, very excited about that. So in 2014, I was co-hosting an amazing women's conference with my very first life coach. Her name is Shondell. I'm sure you'll see her around inside this new space along the way. But we used to host a conference up in Seattle, and it was 2014. And one of the things we did at this conference was we shared our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal with each other. And basically you had to write it down, and then you stood up and you said it out loud, and you breathed life into it. And so that year I had been thinking about writing a book to kind of redefine who I was in the world. I'd left corporate a couple years before and really felt like my brand needed some clarification. So I wrote, I'm going to write a book. And when I said it out loud, I said, I'm going to write a book this year. And as those words were kind of flying out of my mouth, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I just done? I've said this in front of hundreds of powerful women who are going to hold me accountable. Well, fast forward, I did. I did it. I wrote the book. And that December, I sent the first draft to the editor and was like, now what? And in the joy of that season, I was binge watching a show on Netflix, I think, or Hulu, called Private Practice. And it was a spinoff of one of my other favorite shows, Grey's Anatomy, where the wild Addison, who's the redhead doctor, of course, leaves soggy Seattle, which is where I live, for sunny Southern California to join this beautiful holistic medical practice with her best friend. They were fertility specialists, and inside this practice, they had pediatricians, psychologists, sex therapists, all the way up to the beautiful linen clad man who had an apothecary who would subscribe laudanum for you to ascend on your own terms. So really it was A to Z healthcare. And of course, I was dreaming about actually having that in real life and thinking, where could I find that? And I really, really stepped into the show. Like it really kind of sat with me. You know, when that happens? And so I looked around, there was nothing like it. So I thought, well, there's another reason for the show. So I planted that seed. That same year, so this is stepping into 2015, that same year, my bestie, Kelly Mitchell, and I started, we're doing a show called Women on Wine TV. And someone introduced us to this collaborative environment called Naked Wines. And it's a really fun way to become an angel investor for new winemakers. Anyways, I loved the vibe inside there. I loved that you paid into a fund and then you received cases of wine throughout the year. And you got to pick and choose which winemakers spoke to you. They toured you around their wineries. You met the wine dogs. You met the other animals on the property. It was just beautiful. I loved the way it was connected. And so I thought, well, how do I weave this into what I want to do in the future? So I planted that seed. Fast forward to the following year, I was sitting at another women's conference, yay, and I was watching this woman on stage, and she was in her power, and she was sharing her story about how she travels the country, really the globe, talking about and raising awareness around human trafficking, and that she really had found her voice when she stepped into this role. And I sat in the audience and I thought, wow, I'd really love to find a nonprofit that wants to work on empowering women. And I kid you not, not even 3 months later, I was on the phone with another one of my dearests, Sarah Suda-Chan. And that's when the initiative Woman Up was born with the California Association of Realtors, which is where I've been for the last 7 years. Last year, something shifted for me. And I knew that it was time to step into what I'm about to share with you today. And so I had that instant manifestation of Woman Up and my partnership there. And I loved that environment. I loved being with the community. I loved walking hand in hand through the pandemic with everyone. And I also wanted to honor the shift. I wanted to release myself from the contract. And I took a few months. As many of you know, I've been very, very quiet, but I took a few months to reflect and rest and reset. Not only reset my mindset, but my body and my soul, and to actually revisit and relearn my own energy, right? When you're not doing the hustle and go, go, go. And here we are today. So, where we are today is a culmination of this idea of bringing the holistic health practice with this wine angel investment fund into the world where I am, the women in business. And so today, what I'm here to share with you is that the doors are opening in this new space. And I'm so excited to invite you all. It's about empowering purpose-driven, soulful leaders to reach their deepest potential, to unlock that innate personal power we all know is inside. And sometimes we just keep her small so that we fit in at the tables where we currently are. And so I'm bringing together the women in my world who are in business. It does not matter what industry they're in. We are going to bring us all together and create a space where, in a world where we are more connected than ever, that we feel so alone. We're going to talk about how we can embrace our creativity, how we can stoke our curiosity, how we can step into the tell me more mindset versus the scarcity. We're going to ditch the senseless hustle that the world, the media has been telling us for so long is required for us to be successful. This space that I'm creating alongside amazing other women is where we're going to go to do business differently. We're going to support each other. We're going to support a trusted circle of advisors. We are going to sit at the feet of wise, wise women who have walked paths before us and who have lessons to impart. And we are going to create a circle that is going to be so powerful and unbreakable that the world is going to wonder what is happening inside here. Now, have told you a little bit about the history. I've told you a little sneak peek about what the vision is behind it. Let me talk to you about the holistic approach part. So, we're going to weave together self mastery with professional development and a focus on well being. So, we're going to bring those three conversations into one space. And don't worry, one of my missions and my promises is to not overwhelm with content. I'm bringing voices together who will have content to share with you. But what we're doing in this new space is not going to be overwhelming. We are going to take a topic once a month and dig into it, and then give you a whole month to embrace that topic, to infuse that knowledge, to listen to the conversations, and to be part of the conversations. We're going to talk about marketing. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about well-being and self-mastery and how they coexist, but how they really have very, very specific paths. We're also going to dig into business processes. We're going to talk about strategic planning versus business plans. We're going to talk about P&Ls. We're going to go deep. We're going to go into a space where imagine when you walk into a conference and you've got 2.5 or 3 days and you just have content like a fire hose. We're going to take that and we're going to spread it out through an entire year for you so that you are not stressed out. We're going to take December to reflect and celebrate on all of our successes. We're going to take January as a month where we're going to rest and reflect and read books and recharge ourselves and be in communion with one another. Now, there's a few ways that we're going to get involved. I've kind of teased a couple of them, but there's tailored membership paths that you can take. If you are just want to participate in a collective conversation once a month, you can do that. If you want to come every other month to a book circle and have conversation around books, you could do that. If you want to come quarterly and join us for our Startup Spark Summits, which are our version of pitch fests inside the community, because you have this idea that you've been sitting on for far too long and you're ready to bring it to life, you can join us and do that. Or you can do all three. And you can participate in the Facebook group and in our chats and in all of the other beautiful offerings and events that our other women will bring to the table. So let me tell you about that. Well, actually, let me just tell you the name because that will help. So I spent a lot of time with Molly McKinley, who many of you know is, again, a beloved of mine. We spent a lot of time thinking about the message, the visuals, all of the goodness. And so where we are today and what we're introducing is this new community is called the Red Threads Collective. The Red Threads Collective. I truly believe that the women that are going to be in this room were meant to do business and life together. And so what is happening inside this collective, this circle, is there's a few groups coming together. The members, who many are hopefully here in this room right now, who are going to come to the table to learn. They're going to come to the table to ask questions. They're going to bring their problems. You're going to look at your business over the last 5 years and think, if I only knew how to do this better, I would be more successful. Let's figure that problem out at this table. So the members are a beautiful part of the community. They have access to the community. You have access to this beautiful community of the other two. So the guides are the second group, and my guides, oh my goodness, these goddesses are amazing. You'll see them when you visit the website. I'll drop the link here soon. But we have women coming to the table who are marketing experts, who are money experts, who are self-mastery experts, who are mindset experts, empowerment coaches. We have CEO executive coaches coming to the table to share their wisdom with you. Now, the beauty of the guides is they actually run successful, thriving consulting practices. So think back to that private practice show that I watched. These are our professionals. So when they come onto the shows, when they come into the events and talk with you about how to do something, they are the who you can work together with. They have prioritized their time to give their lessons to you, to give you things that you can do in their lane to move your business forward. And then when you're ready to take it to the next level, you have a partner right there in the circle, ready to help support you in whatever it is that you want to get done. And then the third group are my sages, the circle of sages. And these women, sage is not about age, it is about wisdom. We'll have a mompreneur in the room. We'll have strategic executive advisors in the room. And the reason I'm not saying names quite yet is because throughout this entire month, I'll be having them on lives to introduce them to you. But of course, when you go to the website, you'll see who's all part of this. But the voices and their expertise are all over there on the website. You'll be able to scroll through and think, I am so excited to do business and life with these amazing women. So you'll be able to monthly get together with us. We'll have a conversation once a month called the Collective Conversation, where we'll talk about that topic. And one or maybe two members every month will be able to hop on with a group of experts and share her problem, ask her question, and it will be solved right then and there for all of us to see, for the experience of watching these incredible guides and sages in their element, listening actively listening and then sharing their wisdom. I also mentioned those book circles. So we'll have those book circles. You'll be able to join those, sign up for those as soon as they come up and the date's on the calendar, you'll know. And then again, those startup summits. We have an amazing group of startup founders, and one in particular who many of you know, you'll see her on the website, who is going to champion these startup summits. It is her passion to help startup founders bring their ideas to life. And then we'll also have accelerator programs and venture capitalists in the room as well. So we may even be launching some businesses in here, which I'm very excited about. You're probably wondering at this point, like, okay, what does this cost? What is the investment to be part of this? And I'm so excited to share with you that it's super simple. And I believe irresistible. If you choose to do an annual subscription with me, it's $13 a month. And you might be thinking, gosh, Deborah, I've known you for 2 decades. 11 is your number. Why 13? Well, 13 is my number in here because the focus inside this community is about us balancing our energies, our masculine and our feminine energies. And the number 13 has gotten a really bad rap for far too long. It is a beautiful, divinely feminine number, and we're reclaiming it. We may even have celebrations on Friday the 13th. So if you want to subscribe annually, it's $13 a month. If you're like, no, I don't know about that, I want to do month to month. Month to month is 22. That's where my 11 comes in. It's two 11s. So for basically one, maybe two visits to a coffee shop with a little snack and hanging out with your girls, you have access to everything that I just mentioned. The beautiful conversations that happen once a month, the book clubs, the startup summits, and all, of course, the amazing resources that all of those events will create for the members to be able to access in perpetuity. We also are going to launch a very sacred version of a business network. We love to do business with each other. We seek to do business with people we trust. And so when you receive business from anyone inside the collective, we ask that you bless the community back with 5% of your earnings. It's again very small, very irresistible, but in a collective as powerful and large as we are going to create, those funds are going to create an impact grant fund that we are planning to launch in 2025 that will help the women inside this community, the members who have those ideas, who want to take their business to the next level, who want to grow, who maybe want to bring a new idea to life and just need a tiny bit, a little cash flow. Maybe it's for an assistant. Maybe it's to have a website built. Maybe it's some CEO coaching to get out of the past mindset and into your future self mindset. So we're going to create that fund together. We're going to create it together and bless each other and pay it forward. So I'd love for you to join us. I'd love for you to join us today. Just head on over to Red Threads Collective. I'll share it with you here inside the chat over on wherever you are, wherever you're watching. I'll share it with you there. And let's get this going. Let's start creating this community and let's build this beautiful sacred space together. Let's look at the ability to create a new way of doing business. Let's look at surrounding ourselves with powerful, soulful women who are building their own, as Tara Nicole Kirk, who you'll see is one of our guides. She calls it your empire of the soul, that we're going to be able to link arms together and do it. We're going to be able to do that together. Now, let me just tell you, once you claim your seat at the sacred new table, we are going to have the next month to build up your profile so that when we launch the business directory, it will be ready. We're going to also be sending you a form to join our speaker directory, which is also included in that fee. So if you want to do more speaking, if you want to be on podcasts, if you want to be on stages with as a panelist or doing keynotes, We're going to create a powerful directory of badass female speakers so that when anyone says, "Where are all the women speakers?" oh, we know where to go. So you will have access to being part of it or to using it if you plan events. And then mark your calendars. You'll be able to, over the next month, mark your calendars for the upcoming events. So we'll have plenty to do over the next few weeks because our first event is on May 16th. And that is focusing on really looking at our businesses from an intentional focus on how are we marketing, how are we attracting our ideal clients, so that we can take a moment and look at what needs to be shifted, what do we need to judge, maybe what do we need to let go of that isn't serving us anymore. So we're going to have the next month to do that. So for those of you who are interested in participating in this kind of community, who are excited about seeing things like workshops and retreats and conversations about conversations like money and marketing and mindset and menopause, all of those conversations, uh, I'm ready. I'm ready to help you with that. I'm ready to be the woman who links arms with you and connects you with the incredible women in my world. And the guides and sages are ready. They are ready to help you. They are ready to be that guiding light for you. They're ready to be the wise woman you have been seeking to help you get unstuck, to get to that next level. So again, join me, redthreadscollective.com. Hit the join the